stripes of mine in the sand. Where will you stand?
Well, of course, Hulk doesn't have jet lag, nothing like that. He travels so well. How are you doing? I'm lying, right?
Well, it's funny. So memories on Facebook came up of a post I did on January 6th, 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's worth mentioning because that was a life then compared to now. I had spent, I think it was 5 weeks in America speaking, was in Israel for 2 weeks, and then I went to Germany and Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
And Germany was the first and last meeting of what was supposed to be B'nai Yosef Europe. I came back. 3 weeks later, I was in Sri Lanka teaching for 10 days, back in Israel for 2 weeks, and then I went to America to speak for another month. And I have to tell you, between then and now, 9 years to the day, there are a lot of miles on this chassis, and it's not quite handling those hills the way
Mm.
it used to. But let's
Okay.
leave it at that.
Well,
A
hopefully,
lot is going
people
on.
can
A
see
lot is going on.
people can see that our internet is a little bit spotty here. It works fine from Israel, but not from Colorado. So it's just cutting just a little bit. I think we can work through it. So go for it.
Okay, I hope so. Okay, big news. Didn't mention it last week when we were speaking because there were so many other things to touch upon. Israel's recognition of Somaliland.
Mm-hmm.
And as I've spoken to people, that has generally gone over the heads of 10 out of every nine people that I've spoken to.
Yeah.
They don't know where it is. They don't understand the significance. They don't know why Israel recognized them and why everyone in the world, their hair frizzed up and, started, the whole world is meeting about it. Somaliland was essentially internet connection is unstable. Bad day for this. Okay, Somaliland was essentially independent since 1991. I mean,
Okay.
it's a whole thing, but everyone has got to go and pull up a map of the area around Somalia, different country now, and see where Somaliland sits,
Okay.
which is right opposite where the Houthis are in Yemen.
Oh, wonderful neighborhood.
So it's a tremendous advantage for Israel to have influence there. Holy Land is tight with Turkey. So this is Israel's kind of like not quite checkmate, but moving on a global level like we've never seen before.
Wow.
Now, there's a lot that Israel can offer Somaliland, um, and it provides for lots of interesting things. I'm going to quickly go on to a few things. I'm a little concerned about the internet giving out, but let's give it a try. Hezbollah, Hamas continue to rearm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great that there were wonderful statements. It's great that, there's talk about wanting to move on to phase two. We are still waiting for the remains of one of our beloved
Mhm.
hostages. Um, and nothing seems to be happening. All this AI generated propaganda coming from Gaza showing Gazans in snowstorms, freezing to death. We live in the Middle East, guys. That's not happening. So it's really, really bizarre. Um, but if you think that's bizarre, Shabbat ended. I go, as is my custom, and pick up my phone to see what has happened in the last 24 plus hours. And the next thing I know, America's taken over Venezuela
Oh
with
yeah.
no plan to leave anytime soon. Reiterated just today. Now, what I find, when people are like, Venezuela, ¿por qué? Why? Why? Venezuela sits on 17 to 20% of the world's oil reserves.
Yes.
Is it any coincidence that in driving past gas stations yesterday, I saw prices at a level that I haven't seen in many, many, many years here in
Mm.
America? Very interesting. Um, Now, what has been very disturbing about this whole thing, though, is notes that I've gotten from people who are supporters of Israel, who, like the vice president of Venezuela, who saw the Zionist taint over what happened with Maduro,
Hmm.
they think that this was done on behalf of Israel. Now, those are those moments when I'm trying to remember how to do CPR on myself because I'm sure my heart is about to stop. Because again, remember, these are friends of Israel, lovers of Israel, supporters of Israel, and the line between many of them and the Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Nick
Hmm.
Fuentes
Yeah.
is getting closer and closer. And their arguments to me are saying, well, Venezuela was an ally of Hezbollah. Absolutely correct. But we have Hezbollah, Hamas, terrorists throughout Yosh, Judea and Samaria, the Houthis, the Iranians, the Iraqi militias, Turkey, 5 divisions, including tanks and heavy weapons of the Egyptians in Sinai. Venezuela is not anywhere on our radar.
Hmm.
Okay, Israel doesn't have a Monroe Doctrine about, what should be in South America or not. I'm actually alarmed that people in the Hebrew roots Messianic world who, and these people are the ones I'm talking about, have contacted me, are supporters of Israel, but they're so involved in this conspiracy theory that you would swear that Bibi went to Florida and told Trump that he needed to get this done on behalf of Israel. And that shocks me. It really, really does. Um, I literally, it's so rare when I'm at a loss for words, for
Yeah.
better or worse.
I know it's like no matter what happens in the world, it's the Jews' fault. It's just this mantra, Hunter, that has
Yeah,
been for centuries and centuries that it's the Jews' fault. It's Mossad, it's the Jewish bankers, it's the executives at Hollywood. It just kind of goes into, and then you take social media and throw that in the mix, and there's
yeah.
just to me there's no discernment or very little. And
None
I don't know
whatsoever.
how to combat it. I really don't.
Whatsoever. I'm still a believer in education. Um, but very often the groups that invite me to come and speak, it's almost like preaching to the choir. They're like there were people in Israel in the last year, um, mutual friends of ours, who were trying to tell me that I would be interrupted and heckled while I spoke, by the Tucker Carlson supporters. And I tried explaining that the groups that invite me are not like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
The people who don't want to hear what I am teaching don't come. They boycott it.
Yeah.
I
They just
mean,
stay
you and
home.
I have experienced that.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, this is again the Jew factor. But the idea that, and I love when I hear that the Jews control the media because I can't find a single positive thing said about Jews or Israel in the media. So, it's just so shocking that people would, and they're trying to convince me, and they'll send like, some kind of, thing, and like, look at, Hezbollah and the it's true, but it's a lot more concerning to us that Hezbollah is preparing more missiles
Yeah.
and that weapons are continually being smuggled in. And the
Yeah.
fact that there was an American brokered ceasefire where Hezbollah was supposed to disarm, and the Lebanese government and the Lebanese army were supposed to do it, and it didn't happen, and it's
Mm.
not happening. Um, so all of these things are what's rattling around in my head. On the other hand, we have begun to see in Israel a positive improvement in tourism.
Okay.
Now, it's not like plane loads and plane loads of people are coming, um, but the airport was pretty much a zoo, um, which I had kind of expected. Um, and I, among my tour guide friends, there are beginning to be little bits of nibbles
Hmm.
of things of, people considering bringing a group or people coming, or even day tours through Tourist Israel are beginning to happen. Now, when I'm talking about day tours, I'm talking about 6 people,
Yeah.
where there used to be 36 to 45.
Yeah. Yeah.
But these are improvements, which of course is a perfect segue to mention that by February 1st, approximately, people will begin to be able to sign up and put a deposit down for their spot and Connect to Israel 2026,
Well,
October 18th through 30th.
it may actually be a little quicker
Hope
than
y'all are
that.
ready.
I'm working on a couple things last minute here,
Even better.
but it may be even within, a week and a half that people can do that. So we will announce it on the website as soon as we
Ooh,
possibly can.
even better.
A little bit of logistics, which you
Fabulous.
understand, hotels and
Fabulous.
things
So,
like that, we've got to deal with. So
yeah, it's interesting because it's not quite as simple to bring a group to Israel or
no,
anywhere.
no,
You've got to so it's and again, I hope people are ready, because one thing I've noticed, and every time I'm in America, where I am is irrelevant because it's all about connecting.
hmm
I'm connecting with friends, old friends, new friends. Um, and I've noticed that, unlike you and I, Mike, people are getting older.
yeah,
It people that 10 years ago, they're I don't know how, but they're 10 years older. So all these people that have been telling me, they're, I'm going to come with you and Mike, and well, yeah, well, come on.
yep,
This may be the last train out of Dodge for you, some of y'all. So come
yeah.
on.
And one of the things I will be looking at, Hanok, and I actually started looking at this, is that their flights are back to Israel. The connections are better than they have been. So I work with, usually we'll work with Delta or United. The flight in on United on the last Connect Israel tour was very, very good. And so if people want to start looking at, they can go to united.com and they can start looking at the prices. The prices are actually, compared to what they have been over the last couple of years, the prices are pretty reasonable right now.
Yeah,
So I'll have that
yeah.
info up
It's
hopefully pretty soon.
as the saying goes, there's never been a better time.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's fascinating, let's go back to Venezuela for a second. So, like everyone else, I was shocked. Um, and I asked Carney, uh, has now had tripled his security around Ottawa, to make sure that Canada doesn't become the 51st state. Anyone who has ever wanted to go to Greenland, it may be easier for you. You don't even have to go through Denmark anymore. Um, Wild times.
Yeah.
What's going to be very interesting to see where this all plays out. Um, and when people say, well, you see, this is Trump. This isn't necessarily America. This isn't necessarily the direction that America
Yeah.
is heading. And the thing that I find fascinating is there's one thing that I hadn't brought up yet, and it's probably the biggest thing on the board right now, the demonstrations in Iran.
Yeah.
The potential for regime change in Iran is closer than at any point since the revolution in
Hmm.
the late 70s.
Yeah.
This is this is fascinating. Now, why it is that we Israelis are not striking Iran right now, I don't get it. I really, this is the time. And it wouldn't turn the populace against us or in favor of their government, but rather could be that final straw that causes the regime to collapse.
Okay.
Um, Iran, if taken out of the equation, everything changes.
Hmm.
Shortages and the fact that they can't get enough water in Tehran, their capital, cannot be pleased with the fact that last year their country gave $2 billion to Hezbollah.
Hmm.
This is all everything is connected and interconnected.
Yeah, and we're in a place that you just don't know what to
Who
wake up
knows?
to.
We're living in interesting times.
Yeah, what are you going to wake up to tomorrow morning? Have no idea. But so for tonight, you're in Colorado, then you fly over to to Western Colorado. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So and then I fly on Sunday back to speak in Colorado Springs. Um, then a very, very early flight the next morning. Apologies to our dear friend who has to drive me. And then I'll be going to other friends of ours in Gloucester, Virginia.
Oh, already. Okay.
So that's coming up. And then from there to South Carolina, then to Life Assembly in North Carolina. And the beat goes on, so to speak.
We'll see where it goes from there. All right. So people can go to your website, coleyehuda.com, and they can check your information out there, your itinerary. Nope, it's not there.
Yeah.
You're not posting it,
No,
huh?
let them message me directly.
Okay, good. Okay. So they can message Haluk. If they
Um,
have a problem, they can
you know,
message me, email me, whatever.
yeah,
Okay. Probably best
yeah.
in this
It's better if
in
people
this
communicate with me directly.
yeah.
Changes continue.
Yeah. And this in this climate, probably best to do. So, all right. Well, and I'll be doing a little I'll go clear the way for you at in Columbia. So you should be okay by the
Appreciate
time
it.
you get there. Okay. Talk to you soon.
Great,
Take care. See ya.
great. See you, Mike.